Hello folks, Y Guy here again. Welcome to my home on this very beautiful spring day. I think it's spring. The name of this video is called The Y Guy Hopes for a Change. Now, this title can be taken two ways. Am I hoping to change my personal outlook? Is that hope that I will change because I usually don't hope? Is that what it is? Or am I hoping for a change in circumstances brought on by life in general? In context to this video, I'm hoping for a wind of truth, folks, rather than some religious hot air that we're all familiar with. I want to see a move by the Spirit of God to open eyes. I really do. And it kind of reminds me, there's this old hymn that, this isn't meant to insult anyone, okay? But I'm saying the heart of a Christian will sing, "My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus Christ and His righteousness," or something along those lines, right? I've heard that song over and over again throughout the years. And yet, see, that's what the heart of the Christian will sing. But the doctrine of that same Christian will sing, "My hope is built on nothing less than my free will, self-righteousness." It really is. It really is, if you think about it. So, if or when that this hope change happens, where eyes are opened up, okay? That's God doing it. I can't do it. No, you can't. None of us can. It's all God. So, but if or when this initially happens, I could be wrong, but I don't believe very many Christians will recognize this change coming down the pike as being from God. I really don't. Because I think it's going to be a challenge. I think it's going to challenge them and discredit a lot of their doctrinal and theological strongholds that they hold on to. Case in point, Jesus versus the Pharisees. God through Christ was actually rejected then. So in my scenario, I've seen Christians doing the exact same thing with the reconciliation of all hope message. I've seen it over and over again. It's only a matter of time that God's Spirit is going to uproot all those deep-seated, fearful beliefs that cause us harm. It's only a matter of time. Why? Because that's what love does, and God is love. Okay? It's just a matter of time. So as an example, many are finding themselves questioning the legitimacy of hell as coming from a God of love. This kind of questioning is more than reasonable, folks, from someone who has not been brainwashed and indoctrinated. Is it not? Is it not more than reasonable? Here's some evidence of questioning. Of why I think people are questioning. Here's evidence towards that. Most churches are getting smaller and smaller. They really are, because folks are tired of being manipulated by rules and regulations, judgments caused by man-made doctrines. People are waking up. I should say, God is waking people up. Okay? So unfortunately, rather than actually waking up the church leaders, in context to them, most church leaders, they're going to see these changes taking place within us as rebellion. They'll use religious-sounding lingo like Jezebel spirit. Oh my gosh! Or of how rebels have infiltrated Christianity. Rather than looking into their own hearts, they'll accuse others of backsliding or for leaving the fold. Okay? However, in reality, the opposite is actually what's happening. God's love is being revealed and demonstrated, while doctrines of men are being exposed for the lies that they are. As the light of this love that I'm talking about explodes in the hearts and the minds, the darkness of religious folklore is being forced out. But first, the religious masks, those religious masks that we put on, those smiling faces when somebody says something that's nothing but bullshit. Those masks have got to come off for this love to be seen and understood in us. Yes, it's going to be a little controversial and a little scary. I understand that. And we're talking about loved ones and family and friends, and you don't want to put them off. I relate. But church leaders, they're going to reject what is beyond your mask. That love that is beyond your mask. They're going to completely reject it. Okay? And they're not going to call it love, but they're going to call it rebellion instead. See, so don't be dismayed, folks. You know, God will heal the hurt. He really will. The resentment and the anger that these false judgments will cause you. Been there, done that. I'm speaking from experience. You know, I believe the Christian church means well. I really do. And I still think it's one of the best things going, even though a lot of people in my camp totally reject it outright. I'm not going to reject anything that God still uses. Okay? Because he definitely still uses it to minister to people and to bless people and help people. So who am I to reject it? Even though I personally don't go. I don't ever want to go again. So it kind of feels hypocritical. But, you know, like I said, I believe the Christian church means well, but sadly, and far too often, real love, though, within that system has been replaced by a counterfeit of programs and, in my case, my experience, feel-good music. All right? Now, what I mean by feel-good music, you know, I know what I'm talking about. I was a praise leader for over 30 years. And like most Christians, I was sincere. And my heart was pure before God, but there was always this huge hole, okay? Something missing. Or better said, something was being covered up. Aha, and that's the key. So what was being covered up? The answer is this. A trust in God's love was being covered up. And people think, what? You know, what are you talking about? Christianity constantly pushes the narrative of God's love. How could I ever love God? Think about this. How could I ever love a God I couldn't trust? And how could I ever trust a God who would abandon countless people to an eternity of torment? Are you catching it? I know I'm not alone in this. So, in closing of this video, looking back, the reason I now view most of my involvement as counterfeit, my involvement within the Christian church system, is because the feel-good experience lasted but only just a short lifetime. And I know a lot of people can identify with that. You'd go to church one Sunday morning or Saturday, depending on your beliefs, and you would leave, and it would feel great, but it wouldn't last very long. You relate? So my foundation wasn't solid. Sure, I said it was founded upon the rock of Jesus. You know, my hope is built on nothing less. Sure, I said that. But in reality, it was solely based on my free will. On my free will, self-righteousness. It really was. And the choices that I made. Not on the choices that Jesus made. Are you catching me? So don't get me wrong. God did indeed inhabit the praises of his people. Boy, did he inhabit the praises of his people. I could take hours on a video sharing some of my experiences in that. It was awesome, and I do miss it. I really do. But he did this. He inhabited the praises of his people in spite of our intentions. Not because of them, but because of him and who he is. Anyway, I hope that made sense. Well, I'm not going to continue with a infomercial here on Facebook and my book that I've written and the book I'm presently writing and all that kind of stuff. I'll just say thank you for viewing.